Hi all. Joshua, thank you for your attention. Hi all. Thank you for being here today, both in person and joining us from all over the world via Zoom. Especially Hubert's family, Linda, Ethan, Isabella and Max. And then we also have Uli and family joining us from Australia. Also a special thanks to Dylan, who graciously offered us this venue. A venue where Hubert often had breakfast when he was in town. The picture on the wall there actually depicts him sitting here at this venue. We gather here to honor and celebrate the life of my beloved brother, Hubert. Hubert was taken from us far too soon, and his absence leaves a void that can never be filled. Yet, as we come together today, we are reminded of the profound impact he had on each other of our lives. Hubert was a person of immense kindness, unwavering loyalty, and boundless love. He had a way of making everyone feel special and valued, and his laughter was infectious. Whether you knew him as a family member, a friend, or as a colleague, you knew that Hubert's heart was as big as his smile. Today, we'll share stories, memories, and reflections that capture the essence of who Hubert was. We will laugh, we will cry, and we will find comfort in each other's company. Though Hubert is no longer with us in body, his spirit lives in the memories we cherish and the love we hold in our hearts. I want to extend a special thanks to those who have traveled from afar and those who are joining us virtually. Your support and love are felt deeply, and we are grateful for your presence. As we proceed with today's service, let us remember Hubert, not for sorrow for what we have lost, but with gratitude for what we had. Let us celebrate his life, his legacy, and the inedible mark he left on all of us. Thank you. I want to just outline today's program. Up next, we'll have a tribute by Barbara.
As a child, it bothered Hubie that he had not been born into what he considered a normal family. He used to complain that normal families dished up yogurt for breakfast. We were not a normal yogurt family, and Hubie, above all, longed to be normal. Despite his early wish to conform, Hubie was far from ordinary. He was extraordinary in so many ways. Against all odds, he was born a boy. He was the long-awaited first son, the fifth child after a string of 4 daughters. To blend in with his older sisters, Uli, Trixie, myself, and Astrid, Hubie grew a mop of blonde curls. His lovely locks were admired by all. Strangers used to stop and exclaim, "Na des aber schönes Madel," "Now that is a cute girl." This did not go down well with our father. He promptly restored Hubie's boyhood by snipping off his glorious halo. Our mother must have been sad about our father's scissor frenzy. She brought Hubie's first locks all the way from Vienna to Cape Town when we immigrated in 1967 and kept them in a shoebox for half a century. Hubie discovered them among her personal belongings on one of his recent visits to Cape Town. During the slideshow later, you may spot a photo of Hubie reunited with his toddler locks, now rather matted, on top of his middle-aged, shaved head. Hubie grew up at the foot of Table Mountain in Varsity Street, Tamberskloof, less than 1 kilometer from here. He went to the German school Cape Town, known as the DSK, up the road from where we lived. At one stage, all 6 Gassner children attended the DSK, ranging from Martin in grade 1 to Uli in grade 12. As our mother worked in the family business, 1 Varsity Street was a popular after-school hangout for many DSK pupils. Hordes of children piled into our house, hoovering up heaps of bread, jars of apricot jam, and gallons of milk. The Gassner boys, Hubie and Martin, and their friends, some of them are here today, freely roamed the neighborhood. Lions Head and Table Mountain were their playground, and Camps Bay Beach, over Kloof Neck, was only a short hitchhike away. In Hubie's teens, he also ran wild at the lodge, the farm of our brother-in-law Christoph in Firgrove. Here finally was the big brother he had been missing all his childhood. And Christoph took to the big brother role. He taught Hubie and Martin fishing, water skiing, and how to drive a car. Then, girls rocked Hubie's world. At first, Hubie faced a few challenges in matters of love. He wore spectacles with thick Coke bottle lens glass lenses and failed to notice the girls that fancied him. They had to go to great lengths to make him aware of their romantic interests. In fact, and this Hubie told me, his first love hid naked in his room to signal that he was the chosen one. That bold move did not go unnoticed. Hubie was a team player. As a boy, he joined the Scouts and at school played basketball, rugby, and soccer. Our father once remarked in jest that most of us Gassners were unemployable. We do not take easily to institutions and so have to run our own businesses and practices. Hubie, however, bucked that family trend. He enthusiastically embraced corporate life. After completing his accountancy degree at UCT, he joined Coopers & Lybrand in 1987, a big auditing firm in Cape Town. He soon made a good name for himself at Coopers, thanks, in part, to my mother's home cooking. The audit clerks at Coopers apparently lined up to audit my parents' company, Gassner Plastics. The audit team told Hubie that they loved working at Gassner Plastics because of my mother's home-cooked goulash and knödel, which she served for lunch. I suspect she did this to detract from her rather unorthodox accounting practices. So Hubie, early on in his career, learned the valuable lesson that a delicious meal goes a long way to smooth ruffled corporate feathers. And he also always made a mean knödel, Hubie. In 1992, Hubie spread his wings and left South Africa to work first in Dresden, Germany, and then for Motorola in Hong Kong and in Chicago. He met Linda. Their wedding in 1999 in Cape Town was a fairy tale event. There were 6 gorgeous flower girls, all dressed in pink. Linda thoughtfully included all Hubie's Cape Town nieces. 5 of them, some of them now married, are here today. Linda's 3 sisters who flew in from America formed an impressive retinue of bridesmaids in green. Linda arrived in a horse-drawn coach. That was not Linda's idea, but she kindly humored my mother's romantic fantasies. And to crown it all, Linda was pregnant with Ethan. These were very happy times in Hubie's life. Whirlwind years followed. Hubie's family grew rapidly. Ethan, Isabel, and Max were born in short succession. The family flitted between cities, first Chicago, then Hong Kong, then back to Chicago. In 2013, they finally settled in Denver. Blue being Hubie's favorite color, Denver was a keeper. Hubie's career took off. After 13 years at Motorola, he worked as a regional CFO at BAA Systems in Hong Kong, and then in Invensys in Chicago, and finally as the financial chief officer of Omnitrax in Denver. Hubie's exceptional work ethic is highlighted by the following incident. When he started his position in Hong Kong, he worked late into the nights. He was surprised to find that the accounting team he managed also stayed long hours and just kept working. When he spoke admiringly to a colleague about the long working hours his team kept, he was educated about company protocol. It was practice in Hong Kong for staff to keep working until their manager down tools. That belated insight swiftly restored Hubie's work-life balance, at least while he was in Hong Kong. Hubie lived large and enjoyed life to the full. He often took to the outdoors and greatly admired natural beauty. He regularly hiked, ran marathons, and enjoyed snowboarding. He was passionate about his vintage motorbike. He appreciated good art and music and was well read. He loved good food, both preparing and eating it, lots of it. He took great pride in decorating and improving his home. He had a weakness for fine and bespoke clothing. His suits were tailor-made, and his shoes and shirts were ordered from London. He's one of the only men I know who took great pleasure in ironing his shirts and polishing his shoes. Hubie was a good listener and always ready to help family and friends. He was funny and entertaining, keen to brighten up our lives with amusing anecdotes and jokes. He was extremely generous and compassionate of those who struggled. Car guards in Cape Town blessed Hubie. Instead of giving them the usual 10 rand for looking after his car, he would make their day by tipping them 100 rand. Hubie came from a family where our mother often did not call us children by name, but would refer to us collectively, die Großen, the big ones, and die Kleinen, the small ones. Hubie was, of course, a kleiner. He did not adopt my mother's no-name brand practice with his children. When he chatted about them, he referred to Ethan, Isabella, and Max always by their names. He appreciated and loved their different personalities. He was a hands-on loving dad and was there for his children through thick and thin. He talked about them often. They were the center of his world. Hubie's frequent flower miles were impressive. I'm so grateful that in later years he managed to visit Cape Town often. Our home was his Cape Town base. To lay claim to our guest room, he proposed we put up a sign designating it Hubie's room. That sign has finally been ordered. The stretches of time Hubie stayed with us these last few years were precious. In a way, he relived his carefree youth of the Varsity Street days. Recently, Hubie battled with the effects of a rare and distressing disorder, a psychogenic amnesia which involved episodes of serious memory loss. This took its tragic toll. In his farewell letter, Hubie stressed that he had led a full and good life and loved his family very much. He wanted his friends and family to know that he was at peace when he left this life. My brother Hubie, Boerlie, Hubert, was so many things. Above all, he was a caring and attentive son, an amazing and much-loved sibling, a loyal and supportive friend, an entertaining and generous uncle and brother-in-law, and a wonderful and loving papa to Ethan, Isabella, and Max. And as such, he will live on in our hearts. I would like to end off with a poem by Robert Stevenson, which I think captures Hubie so well. That man is a success who has lived well, laughed often, and loved much, who has gained the respect of intelligent men and women and the love of his children, who has filled his niche and accomplished his task, who leaves the world better than he found it, who has never lacked appreciation of earth's beauty or failed to express it, who looked for the best in others and gave the best he had.
I'm going to call up Aziza. She's going to do a tribute by a friend of Hubie's in Denver, by M. Jeeves.
On paper, Hubert and I would not seem like two people who would know each other, let alone be friends. But a lot of unexpected things happened in 2020. And while the world was unraveling, he became one of my pandemic pod people. He became one of my best friends. Over the last few years, we would spend 2 to 3 days a week together talking for hours about any and everything under the sun over cups of coffee or glasses of champagne. Graham Beck only. I feel so honored to have had this time with him, and by default, time with his kids, Isabella, Max, Ethan, and Denver. His devotion to his family was such a gift to witness, and I will forever be thankful that he and they made me feel like part of the family too. I am so grateful for Hubert and the guidance, joy, laughter, support, and love he brought to my life. He helped me through some of my darkest days, always encouraging me to keep looking forward. He was such a brilliant, caring man, and his generosity was one of many qualities I always admired. His loss leaves an inexplicable void in my life and heart. The world is a better place because of Hubert, and I am a better person because of him. Our friendship is one I will cherish for the rest of my life. This tribute by M so eloquently describes the Hubie we all knew and loved, a kind, wise go-getter with the most adventurous spirit. I will miss my chats with my uncle, but I know that Hubie will live on in all of us, in the memories we hold dear, and in the advice so many of us received from him over the years. May we all do him proud.
And we've got a poem now from Lauren. This is a poem that Uli sent from Australia, and it's written by a friend of hers, Maya Angelou.
When great trees fall, rocks on distant hills shudder. Lions hunker down in tall grasses, and even elephants lumber after safety. When great trees fall in forests, small things recoil into silence, their senses eroded beyond fear. When great souls die, the air around us becomes light, rare, sterile. We breathe briefly. Our eyes briefly see with a hurtful clarity. Our memory, suddenly sharpened, examines, gnaws on kind words unsaid, promised walks never taken. Great souls die, and our reality, bound to them, takes leave of us. Our souls, dependent upon their nurture, now shrink, wizen. Our minds, formed and informed by their radiance, fall away. We are not so much maddened as reduced to the unutterable ignorance of dark, cold caves. And when great souls die, after a period, peace blooms, slowly and always irregularly. Spaces fill with a kind, soothing electric vibration. Our senses, restored, never to be the same, whisper to us, they existed. They existed. We can be and be better, for they existed.
Up next we have Trixie. Okay, fine. You want to? I'm the MC here. I decide who's up first. But Joshua.
It's kind of short. Okay, so these are the words that Evan wanted to share with you guys. And Hubie. Dearest Uncle Hubie, firstly giving much thanks for your parents' life, Oma and Opa, who created you, loved you, nurtured you, and raised you. What a marvelous childhood you must have had playing and growing under the gaze of Table Mountain, Lion's Heads, and Devil's Peak. We never got to spend much time together due to living on the other side of the globe, but I do have a few memories of you. Picking and eating tons of cherries and me farting all the way back to Cape Town in the car. I think you were about to jump ship and hitch home. A helicopter ride you treated Linda, Con, and I to, from the waterfront to Cape Point and back. What a cool uncle. Your wedding, your beautiful bride arriving on a horse-drawn cart and you smiling from ear to ear. You came to Miles' funeral in 2008, which meant the world to Uli and us boys. The last time we saw each other was in Denver 2016. At your local coffee house, we had a catch-up, which was very special and soul medicine for me, especially now for your passing. Thanks for being my uncle. I realized after you've passed, thanks for being my uncle. I realized after you've passed, I have 4 blood uncles and you're the first one to bounce. Giving so much thanks for your life and your contribution to the great mystery. Wishing you all well on your adventures with the star people as your soul dances heavily in the realms. Bound by blood, your nephew, Ev.
I want to read a poem to you. It's what? This poem I want to read for you is called Weep Not For Me. It's by an unknown author. Lower still? Is that better? Okay. So I want to read this poem to you. It's called Weep Not For Me. It's by an unknown author. But when I found this poem, I thought, this is really what gives me peace. To think that Hubie would have said these words to us. So I want to share them with you. Weep not for me, though I have gone into the gentle night. Grieve if you will, but not for long. Upon my soul's sweet flight, I am at peace, my soul's at rest. There is no need for tears, for with your love I was so blessed for all those many years. There is no pain, I suffer not. The fear is now all gone. Put now these things out of your thoughts. In your memory I live on. Remember not my struggles, remember not my strife. Please do not dwell upon my death, but celebrate my life.
Clearly, somebody else has to do the job the next time around. So clearly in Barbara's speech, Hubie's definition of a normal family was having yogurts. So we're going to have this tribute on Hubie of having a yogurt. Rafaela, there's spoons on the side, so everybody can get a yogurt and make Hubie tell from up there and say, we are a normal family. And up next, we're going to have Rafaela. Stanik, am I good here? Any? Huh? Huh? Oh, that's good. Okay.
Okay, guys, it's not the world's best carries, but it would be Okay, has the distribution worked? Does everybody have who needs to have? Okay, great. So I'm at the end, which has just been great for holding things together. So Hubie and I only really connected quite a bit later on in life. And that was only really once he became like a semi-permanent perennial fixture in my parents' guest room. And while I think my career path was used as a certain excuse, I've now just realized I don't have a brandy. Lucky, do we have an extra brandy for me? It's all done. Okay. I will have Barbara's. Okay. So while my career path, I've got one, thanks Lauren, was definitely used as an excuse, we definitely, I think, amped each other up in terms of our hedonism streak. So whenever Hubie came down, we would always be looking out for like the next best experience, and we would try and locate the best restaurants and drink the most amazing wines. But what became a huge tradition was at the beginning of every trip, we would splurge on a bottle of our shared favorite drink, which is the one you guys all have now, the Funrain's 20-year-old. And definitely by the end of his trip, the bottle would be empty. And so when I think back, my most favorite memories of Hubie are the two of us sitting on my parents' kitchen floor, brandy glass in hand, exchanging stories and trading in family gossip, which, as we all know, in a family of our size meant we never ran out of things to talk about. And so if we can all have our glass of brandy, I know it's not the most crowd-pleasing of drinks, but I feel like as the wino of the group, I get to kind of lean into my stereotype. I know that for those of you who will like it, Hubie will have commended you on your amazing taste, as it is considered one of the top brandies of the world. And for those of you who don't, know that Hubie would have had a great time laughing at the faces that you're about to pull. So here's to Hubie, who very enthusiastically and without question would always share the things he loved the most with the people that he loved the most. So cheers. And now, guys, if we would all shuffle and look at the screen over there, we have put together a slideshow, which was produced by me, put together by my business partner, Michael, and will take us through Hubie through the ages.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear baby I watch them grow. They learn much more than I never knew. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Max, you've got more of that stuff on the floor, on the seat, and the carpet than in your mouth.
Gee, what did you get, Bella? Let's see what you got for your birthday.
What do you think it is?
Cow.
The things you bought for yourself yesterday.
You bought a present for yourself. No.
Why don't you turn the TV off, Hubert? Ow!
Just sit.
Max, how was the breakfast?
You want
Up
me
at the top, there's a button at the top. Max!
Happy birthday, Happy
Let's bring everybody down. Will we ever be ready for what we're heading for? Here we stand like a couple of fools, and the race is on. Hand in hand as we break the rules, and the race is on. What's become to the one who lost when the race goes wrong? You may say, why begin when we both can win, but the race goes on. Hand in hand like a couple of fools, and the race is on. You make me live. Whatever this world can give to me, it's you, you're all I see. Ooh, you make me live now, honey. Ooh, you make me live. Oh, you're the best friend that I ever had. I've been with you such a long time. You're my sunshine, and I want you to know that my feelings are true. I really love you.
Joseph's face was black as night. The pale yellow moon shone in his eyes. His path was marked by the stars in the southern hemisphere, and he walked his days under Africa's skies. This is the story of how we begin to remember. This is the powerful pulsing of love in the vein. After the dream of falling and calling your name out.
So here we have the butcher doctor,
What I also found,
doctoring the turkey.
Dr. Turkey.
Dr. Turkey. Yummy, yum.
Turkey. And it's really good in the leg.
In his butt.
No, it's going in the leg.
Oh, in the leg, sorry.
He's on steroids, pumping him up double sized.
Whew, this is going to be delicious.
The road is long and seeming without end. Her days go on I remember you, my friend. And though you're gone, and my heart's been emptied, it seems, I'll see you in my dreams. I got the old guitar here by the bed, all your favorite records and all the books that you read. And though my soul feels like it's been split at the seams, I'll see you in my dreams. I'll see you in my dreams when all our summers have come to an end. I'll see you in my dreams. We'll meet and live and love again. I'll see you in my
So guys, that concludes everything. I think there's going to be food, more food. And according to Rafaela, there's a lot of booze as well. Thanks, everybody.